How do you handle goat kids at birth, and what are the necessary precautions? Now, this is the most critical point of this kind of a farming adventure, because once you buy them initially, you've bought 10 goats. You're looking at these goats growing very fast and multiplying in number very fast. This means that they have to give birth for you to grow, and you have a good number of them, because goats farming business is about numbers. Once you have a goat that is 25 kilograms and above, you get 2, you get 3, you get 4, you get 5, you get 10, you get 20, you get 30. Your income is increasing. So, how do you manage goat kids? Now, goat kids, how do you manage that? You start with the animal that gives birth. We have what we call artificial synchronization and natural synchronization. These are terms used to mean that you're preparing goats to give birth in a certain period of the year. We can do it naturally, or we can do it artificially. Naturally is when the goats come to heat, they breed by themselves in any different time of the year. They will come to heat, they will mate, they will produce. Now that is what we call natural synchronization. Any time of the year that can happen. Then there is what we call artificial synchronization. Here we plan the goats to mate in the rainy seasons, and they produce at the start or at the end of the dry seasons. Why is it like that? This is why we do not want goats to produce kids in a rainy season, because the rainy seasons come with so many side effects. Well, the feeds are growing, but the rains come with so many unwanted conditions to the goats. First of all, the goats are stressed by cold weather. They do not like cold weather. They prefer dry weather. Cold weather affects them in so many ways. It stresses them. When it is cold, microorganisms or disease-causing organisms have a good time to reproduce, to cause diseases, and increase in number. You've noticed that malaria is always on the rise whenever it rains. People are good when it is dry. You complain of the dust, you complain of so many other things, but you do not complain of diseases like malaria. But when it starts to rain, you realize that if you're in the drug industry, drugs like Palaxin, malaria treating drugs are on a demand. This is because the rains have come. The mosquitoes have got the right seasons for them to breed and reproduce and cause more damage or danger to their hosts, who is us. So at every start of a rainy season, disease-causing organisms multiply in number. So if it finds a farm where you're not so good at hygiene, where you're not so good at feeding, the animals are not fed well, the animals sleep in poor hygiene conditions, these microorganisms will reproduce and they will start causing a lot of damage to the animals. You start treating animals every now and then. So in this situation, you have a kid that has just been born. It is new in the environment. It has not yet been harnessed with good immunity to protect itself against diseases, such a kid will start falling sick. And in Uganda here, we do not have enough extension services. People barely access services from qualified people to help in such situations. So what happens is you'll start losing animals during these times of the year. So this is why we plan, we say artificial synchronization, we keep the bucks away from the females for some time of the year, and then we introduce them to the females in some period of the year to breed, such that the animals can give birth in the dry season. Now that is one preparation. 2, these animals have been mated. How do you care for them? There's what we call steaming up. Steaming up is preparing an animal for this period of the time. I mean, for this period when it is pregnant until when it gives birth. You've realized that animals and people have so many requirements when they are pregnant. They tell you to start eating different foods, a balanced diet, such that you can support the kid that is inside the animal to fully grow well, and for this animal to nourish it when it is still inside. Now, you have to feed this animal in a special way than others. After feeding it like that, make sure that you vaccinate this animal. There are vaccines that when injected to an animal, the animal will transmit antibodies of this vaccine to the unborn kid. So this kid will grow protected. Vaccines like Clostridial vaccines will be a lot more useful in this period of the year when animals are almost giving birth. When they have given birth, many people don't know how to manage these animals. So when a goat has given birth, it's that newborn kid, once it falls like this, make sure that you remove all the mucus substances in the mouth of this animal. Now, its gut is not yet fully open. It is not yet fully used to the outward world of feeding, the way it is going to start feeding. What opens up this system is the colostrum, the first milk that is released by an animal after it has given birth. You see that cream-like thick milk that is like yogurt. You've seen it, many of you. You have to make sure that this kid, the born kid, has access to that milk in the first 30 minutes after it has been born. Now, that milk is going to open up its system. Many do not do that. Many introduce milk to this animal, and that is where problems come from. You're giving it coarse milk, not easy to be broken down by the animal you've given it to. Many think that that is what is right, but it is wrong. If an animal has not had colostrum, don't try giving it milk. Make for it artificial colostrum. There are those animals that give birth and they die after giving birth when the labor has been so hard and the kid remains alone. Do not give this kid milk. Rather, prepare for it artificial colostrum, like you'll see in some videos. We've done it at farms. Ensure that this animal has access to that milk in the first few minutes when it is born. It will open up this system, at least for like 3 days. Then you can introduce it to other milk. Now, this will keep that animal healthy. Once the mother has given birth, ensure that you deworm the mother every at least 2-3 weeks after birth. Because what happens is, if this animal has parasites in it, these parasites will consume most of the nutrients. It will consume the blood, nutrients in blood, yet they are responsible for manufacturing milk for the kid. Make sure it is in good health. It doesn't have diseases. It is free from diseases. It is feeding well, free from diseases and parasites. Those are key things. I've told people that everything you see on a kid is brought about by the mother or the parents. The exposure that the kids get from the parents is what predicts its well-being. If the adults are not managed well, if they have worms, they will shed the worms to the kids, and the kids will get the worms, and the kids will start having problems. So whatever way you want to manage the kids, you must make sure that the animals, the adult animals, are very good. Make sure that the umbilical cord of that kid that is born is immersed into a solution of iodine, because we are having a newborn animal into the environment. It is weak. Any open organ on its body, once it gets into this external environment with a lot of microorganisms, it will take in these microorganisms. So make sure that the umbilical cord is immersed in iodine to protect from that. Make sure that the kid feeds well from the mother. It gets enough nursing from the mother. What common diseases or health issues of goats do face and how to manage them? We've talked about diseases. We have viral diseases that we've talked about, PPR, we have goat pox, we have lumpy skin, we have FMD. All those are viral diseases that cannot be treated but vaccinatable. You can protect the animals when you vaccinate them. We have bacterial diseases, those are treated. We have fungal diseases, we have worms, those are the major ones. We've talked about them. Ensuring that the animals live in hygienic environments. Whenever they get sick, involve a proper studied person who understands these things to treat the animals. Yeah. How do you manage goat hooves? Well, these are the walking materials for the goats. Do not allow goats to move in wet or places that have watery conditions, swamps, what and what. These animals will take in this water into the hooves. What happens is they'll start having, whenever they have access to microorganisms like bacteria, these hooves will start getting sick. You'll have animals limping, you'll have animals all of a sudden becoming lame because of these conditions. Like for example, you'll see what this hoof looks like.